My name is Alicia Deron Smith, and my topic is the time value of money. Money and time are very closely related, so they have a correlating type relationship. Understanding this relationship is key to being intuitive enough to make smart financial decisions. Understanding this information helps us answer questions like how much should you save? When should you start saving? Um, when is a good time to make a large purchase? And also answers vital questions about saving for retirement, which happens to be the business that I'm currently in. What I like most about this topic is its real life applications. It's very practical and it's easy to use. I've used these formulas personally when it was time to purchase a vehicle, and even for setting my own budgeting plans, especially when it comes to debt repayment. It's very useful. The idea of time value of money presents the idea that a present amount of money today is worth more than that same amount of money in the future. So $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. $100 today is worth more than $100 3 months from now, or even $100 a year from now. This particular concept is built around the assumption that money has the potential to earn interest. Therefore, the sooner that you are able to receive that money, the more that it's worth. This interest is also sometimes referred to as the discount rate, and the discount rate is compounded based on a given number of compounding periods. So, sometimes we'll see that interest or discount rate is compounded monthly, daily, quarterly, or yearly. And that can make a drastic difference in the resulting future value amounts. In the interest of time and for simplicity, in this illustration that I'm going to do, we'll just look at future and present lump sum amounts only. But keep in mind, this concept is often used for annuities and perpetuities. So in the first example, we have an investor, and he or she would like to invest $1,000 and wants to know what it would be worth after 3 years. In this example, it is assumed that the interest rate is 10% compounded on a yearly basis. So year one, they take their initial $1,000. We multiply that times 1 plus the interest rate, and that produces $1,100 at the end of year one. We take that $1,100 and we reinvest it again in year two. We repeat the process. And as you can see, by the end of year three, we have $1,331. This can also be represented by the formula: the future value is equal to the present value multiplied times 1 plus the interest rate to the power of the number of compounding periods. In this next example, the same person decides to invest the $1,000, but this time will receive 10% interest on a quarterly basis for 3 years. In this case, N would be 12, as there are a total of 12 compounding periods. And when we plug those numbers in, we receive a future value at the end of year three. Is a total of $3,138.43. Compared to the first example, there's a drastic difference in the future value, and that's caused by the number of compounding periods. In the next example, we look at how to calculate a present value. In this example, we have a contractor who's completed a job, and he has two options. He's offered either $5,000 in 2 years, or he can receive $2,500 today. We can assume that the current interest rate or discount rate is going to be 8%, compounded on a semi-annual basis. The question is, what should he do? Should he take the $5,000 in 2 years, or should he just take the $2,500 today? Now, we do have to kind of assume that, he's not hard up for money and he doesn't necessarily need it right away. And so either option would be fair game. The compounding periods for this example would be 4, because the interest that we're assuming he could earn would be earned on a semi-annual basis. The future value that we're going to look at is $5,000. and the interest rate is 8. So when we calculate that, we receive a present value of $3,675.15, which is more than the $2,500 that he's being offered today. So more than likely, if he's not hard up for it today, then he would take the $5,000 in 2 years. The two topics that I've covered in this presentation, present value and future value, are the most fundamental topics of time value of money. The concept of time value of money can get into more complicated type of scenarios, more interesting type of scenarios, such as like lottery winnings. You can even determine what's a better option if you want to take a large lump sum payout versus receiving a certain amount of money every year for 5 years. You could also use the time value of money concept to get a better understanding of repayments, such as a mortgage loan or an auto loan, and kind of understand how an amortization schedule works. Although there are a few different variations to the original formula, luckily there are financial calculators that you can use, and as long as you know the numbers to plug in, you can get the correct answers and find out either the payment, future value, the present value, or even the interest rate.